glorious day here. And Newcastle United with Martin Thomas in goal, and a back four that's at full strength with Peter Jackson, bought from Bradford City earlier this season for £250,000, coming through a test on a calf injury. In midfield, Andy Thomas has been in particularly good form. His 2 goals at Chelsea last weekend, making sure of a valuable Newcastle victory. And then, as we've said, what a promising and developing partnership up front. Paul Goddard, troubled by an ankle injury all week, but now playing against his old teammates, and Peter Beardsley. Well, West Ham's injury troubles have all cleared up. Phil Parkes is in goal. Ray Stewart has recovered from injury, returns to right back. In the midfield, Neil Orr with a ripped back, and the influential Alan Devonshire with a slight hamstring were both past fit today. And then up front, the combination of Cottee and McAvenny. Well, it's the same sort of exciting prospect for us today as Goddard and Beardsley produce at the other end. And the real man of the moment, Paul Goddard, some 7 seasons he had at West Ham. And he only trained yesterday, in point of fact, for the first time this week with an ankle injury, and then went off to Whitley Bay in the afternoon to paddle in the icy waters there. Well, the man who's got to try and beat is one of his greatest friends, Phil Parkes. As we get underway, West Ham in the claret and blue shirts attacking the goal to our right. And Newcastle United, of course, in the famous magpie stripes. West Ham with an amazing away record. They've yet to be beaten away from home this season. And a win today would put them up into 4th place in the table. Kick on by Cottee, cross-spring them not at all. Anderson. They're a very good record against Newcastle, do the Hammers. They've not lost to Newcastle in the last 12 meetings. They won here last season 2-1, thanks to Cottee and McAvenny. Good work here as Roeder tries to bring Paul Stevenson into the action. And then winning 8-1 at Upton Park. And Newcastle had real goalkeeping problems, and Peter Beardsley went into goal. Referee Keith Hackett from Sheffield. Ray Stewart then with the throw for West Ham. Towards McAvenny, instantly shadowed there by Glenn Roeder. Stewart to Dickens. Taken this kick there by Andy Thomas. McDonald on the far side, and then Anderson with a quick challenge. Harris. Neil McDonald with the throw for Newcastle. Here's Peter Beardsley. Harris. McAvenny. Picking out Mark Ward. Concentration flagged for just a moment. The pitch can't be blamed. It's in absolutely perfect condition. Stewart winning it in the air. Kenny Wharton, or miss kick, gives it away to Mark Ward. Stevenson. Beardsley. Andy Thomas, formerly with Oxford. Goddard, a nice little touch for Beardsley. Tries to get Stevenson down the line. Beardsley. Stevenson. Beardsley. Stewart cutting it out and getting it back to keeper Phil Parkes. Playing with enough confidence early on, and having seen them yesterday, Newcastle in training, that win at Chelsea last week did wonders for their spirit and their confidence. They did every other impression than being at the bottom of the First Division table, and there's no doubt that the arrival of Goddard has had a lot to do with that. It's a throw to Newcastle. Beardsley. In fact, Willie McFall, the Newcastle manager, was saying in its way, getting Paul Goddard here, that's Kenny Wharton, but getting Paul Goddard here is in its way like having had Kevin Keegan here. It's lifted everybody in the club. Stewart with the throw. So we take Peter Jackson from Bradford City. Kenny Wharton to Glenn Roeder. Finding McDonald on the far side. Anderson's gone on ahead of him. And no ceremony there. And no sympathy there as Goddard got a bit of a juddering challenge. Anderson. Goddard. And Hilton getting that away for West Ham. Going as far as Jackson. Getting it through to Thomas. Across the face of the goal. A missed kick by Stewart, almost letting Newcastle in. Here's Stevenson. Beardsley. Getting it across again. This time it's Gale looking for a way back, finding it's barred, changing his mind a couple of times and then giving it to Stevenson. And West Ham just at the moment a little rocky at the back. Goddard with the shot, saved by Fox. He gets to score for his new club and he would dearly love to do it today. And Ron Atkinson, former Manchester United manager, it's great to have you with us, Ron. And really quite a bright start by Newcastle.
Yes, they've done very well. The lads were saying before the game about Peter Beardsley dropping off into deep positions, and yet, funnily enough, when he has dropped off deep, he's looked very effective. I think it's very important if he does keep pulling away off West Ham's back four, that people like Andy Thomas make runs as you've just seen into the box.
The linesman flagging for a throw to West Ham, to the annoyance of the St James's faithful. Yes, take the point about Andy Thomas, and in fact I think that's one of the things that's delighted the management here, is the way he has made some really effective breaks from the midfield. McAvenny. And a corner to West Ham, the first of the game. 6 minutes gone, if you just joined us, no score here at St James's Park. And a glorious afternoon. Mark Ward with the corner for West Ham. Towards Gale with that header, but a goal kick. Peter Beardsley, having said the arrival of Goddard, in fact, has given him a better service over 3 games than he's had for the whole of this season, with no disrespect to the people he's played with before. It's just that their style has changed a little bit. Goddard, you'll be noticing, holds it up so well and brings other people into the game, encouraging Beardsley to take a more forward position. Goddard again, this time bringing McDonald in, but that should be Phil Parks's. It's the crowd behind the goals. Phil, 36 years old. Extraordinary twist in his life, and Paul Goddard's. They shared a car to training for about 6 or 7 years, and in fact he's got a little business on the side of replacement windows, and at this very moment is sorting out some replacement windows for whose house? Paul Goddard's. Paul having kept his house down in Buckinghamshire. It's amazing how that win at Chelsea last week seems to have lifted Newcastle, and yet in the first quarter of an hour, 20 minutes of that game, Chelsea might well have been 3 or 4 ahead. But they stuck to their job so well, and it's put a spring in their stride here at St James's Park this afternoon. It's John Anderson, long ball forward, but it'll be allowed by Gale to go through to Phil Parks. said that if West Ham win, they go fourth. If Newcastle win, they go off the bottom and leave Manchester City there. So I imagine if there are any City fans watching today, they must be rooting for West Ham. Harris. Jefferson. Crack has gone off in the corner of the ground. Great plume of smoke there as well. A few photographers crowding around that situation at the moment. And some ambulance men have gone in there too. In the meantime, Devonshire plays it forward. And now Anderson for Newcastle United. Good run here by the fullback. And Goddard is offside. And Parks came screaming out.
It's very noticeable at the moment, Brian, that West Ham are tucking both Ward and Devonshire right in tight. They're not breaking forward at all. They're just content to let Newcastle push at them and try and soak up the pressure. That's a tactic that West Ham have got particularly good at over the last couple of years, where that's why they've had so many outstanding away results. Everyone in midfield works very hard, everybody doubles back and does their share of back tackling and so forth. And what they try and do, they try and frustrate Newcastle.
Their defensive record is good as well, Ron. I noticed they've conceded only 3 goals in their last 6 games. People used to come and think West Ham were a soft touch. They never really were that, but I mean, they've become even harder, it seems, of late. Well, here's Goddard. Thump you may have heard a minute or two ago. I gather was a firecracker set off in the crowd. But I'm glad to say it appears that nobody's been hurt. Just a few eardrums bruised. Mark Ward. And Stevenson staying with him, and then McCreary, in fact, obstructing him, giving West Ham the free kick. 12 minutes gone, no score.
It's a distance Ward will fancy himself with as well if he has a straight shot here.
Got a great little strike on him. He's only scored a couple of times this season, but I remember 1 or 2 particularly effective free kicks last season. In fact, he plays it wide for George Paris. Beaten by Anderson. Side for Devonshire again. McAvenny. Roeder sticking very close to him. Good play by Roeder. And a slip by Orr allows Beardsley to nip in. Free kick given to Newcastle. I think there was possibly a handball there. In comes Hilton. Ward. It's a little battle, this one. And Thomas out. No score with 13 minutes gone. Beardsley. Hilton watching Goddard so well. Big Paul Hilton. The news incidentally of Alvin Martin. He played a reserve game yesterday, came through it unscathed, so John Lyle, the manager, tells me. No doubt Alvin, like Jeff Pike, who did the same yesterday, will soon be looking for a first-team place again. Ward's pass far too far ahead of Potty. Anderson. Chase is on again, and Hilton doing some more good work for West Ham. Harris finding Devonshire. In comes Anderson quickly, but West Ham got the better of him there. But out of Jackson. Thomas again. Beardsley waiting in the middle. So is Paul Stevenson. Beardsley trying to get it through to Goddard. Getting it through to Anderson, and Ward getting it back. There were howls for a penalty as the full-back came storming in. But I'm sure the referee was right.
Yes, I thought there was some brilliant little link-up play between the Newcastle team and Brian. I'm not so sure, you know, the Tackett, who I think is probably the best referee in the game, was right there. Be interesting to see this now.
Well, you've seen it again.
Well, I think if that had been Peter Beardsley diving, I think he might have got a penalty. John Anderson, a full-back in sort of uncharted territory for him.
He thought about it for a moment or two. I think the referee was right, Ron. This is Kenny Wharton. Stevenson and Stewart getting it back. But whether it was a penalty or not, there's no doubt that Newcastle have made a pretty good impression, haven't they, in this first 16 minutes?
Yes, they've closed down very well in midfield, which is going to be important to them, because West Ham are as good as anyone in the middle of the park when they're allowed to be. But that's something they mustn't drop off people like Dickens or people like Ward or Devonshire. They'll all be out to impress the England manager.
Wharton getting it away, and as far as all. Nice touch by him for Stewart. Hilton completely fooling McCreary. Dickens. Lovely skills. And finding Hilton. Devonshire. Newcastle's throw. Neil MacDonald. Beardsley alone up there. Stewart following him across the field. Devonshire for West Ham. Ball still in play. Finding Cotty. Here's Wharton. Again. Thomas. Roda. Creary. Jackson. Thomas. Wharton. Andy Thomas again. This time looking for Neil MacDonald. And some good covering by Alan Devonshire as the big young number 7 of Newcastle United came in.
Once again, Brian, good build-up from Newcastle. MacDonald came flying in off a long ball. As you so rightly said, full marks to Devonshire, stuck against his man, and has saved West Ham from a very embarrassing situation.
Well, Mark Ward now for West Ham. It'll be Ray Stewart. Finding McAvenny. Again, look just how close Roda is sticking. McAvenny 5 goals this season, Cotty 14. Last season between them 53. Dickens keeping that in. And in the end forcing Jackson to concede another corner. Ward again will take it. Tony Gale's gone forward. And Hilton's up there too. Gale going in with a header that time. Thomas getting it away. Devonshire trying to drive it back and just wide. Thomas, the 27-year-old, in fact 27 last Friday. A Welshman, one Welsh cap. Rhoda. Stevenson. Gale just ducking in. Hilton taking the safe way out as he thought, but presenting Newcastle with their first corner of the game. Well, they've certainly got a few big fellas who might exploit this. Neil MacDonald's in there, Glenn Rhoda another 6-footer, Peter Jackson another 6-footer. Paul Stevenson will take it. Punched away, or rather pushed away, by Parks in the first place. Half cleared there by Paris. And now Ward. And it came off Anderson for a throw to West Ham. Anderson, in fact, aiming and connecting with a kick on Mark Ward after the ball had gone out of play. Stewart getting it out. Potty beating Anderson in the air. Jackson finding MacDonald. Jackson forward again to Beardsley. Played for Jackson again. They are putting some nice movements together, Newcastle at the moment. Thomas now bringing the full-back Wharton into it, and he's got Stevenson away on his left. Here's Stevenson. It'll fall easily for George Paris. Just over 20 minutes gone, no score. Rhoda sticking close to his man, but another clumsy corner conceded there by Newcastle. Devonshire will take this one.
Well, I don't know whether Mark Ward's got some sort of a knock, but watching him, he doesn't seem to be zipping up and down the line as he usually does. I mean, I think he's a player that could force himself into the England squad. And yet today he seems just content to sit, and he does appear to be having problems when he's sprinting.
Let's watch that. Gale, Devonshire playing it in again, another deflection for another corner. And Ward's an aggressive little player as well, isn't he?
I think he's a tremendous little player. As I say, I think he's one that could force his way into the full England squad. Whenever I've seen him in the past, whenever there's a break on Brian, he sprints like fury for things. But today he looks, whether he's just content to sit and contain, I don't know.
Well, here he is getting this ball from Devonshire. Dickens, goal kick. Seems to have cornered the market in firecrackers up in James's Park as well. It's a bright enough opening. And Willie McFall, who celebrates this month 20 years at Newcastle United as a player, as a coach, and now as a manager. Fine goalkeeper in his day. Comes off McCreary for Dickens. Anderson again. MacDonald. Goddard. Again, that example of him holding it up and trying to bring other people in. Goddard again. This is the fullback Anderson, and Dickens back with him, but the flag was up for a free kick to Newcastle. Number 2, John Anderson, came on a free transfer from Preston way back in 1982, spotted by Arthur Cox when Arthur was manager here, and doing such a great job at Derby. And certainly Anderson's doing a fine job here. MacDonald then with the free kick for Newcastle. Floater. The head's getting in there. In the end, turned by Anderson behind for the goal kick to West Ham. McAvenny. A little bit at 6s and 7s at the moment, West Ham. Newcastle really with the bit between their teeth. Donald. Anderson. Harris away. Now Cotty. Or Stewart. Ward. Poor pass there, cut out by Andy Thomas. West Ham's throw. Ray Stewart having stolen 3 or 4 yards to the immense annoyance of this noisy St James's Park crowd, told to get back again. Really is a passion about the game up here. McAvenny. This is McCreary, and they're hustling. Combination of the crowd and some good Newcastle play, hustling West Ham into a few mistakes at the moment. But Ward with the throw, and another one. Gale. Play for Dickens. Now Cotty. And McAvenny's waiting in the middle. Good work by the keeper. A simple pass to McAvenny would have meant a certain goal. Now it's Beardsley with West Ham forced to come back and defend, and Ward getting back at the expense of a corner. Well, a slip in the Newcastle defence, very nearly allowing West Ham, and I'll speak to Ron about that in a moment. Stevenson with a long cross. Out of play. Touch and go that, Ron.
Yes, it's certainly West Ham's best moment in the game, and I think Tony Cotty will be disappointed that he didn't produce him with the final ball there.
Stewart with a header away. And now McAvenny. No, there was a foul by McAvenny on Andy Thomas, and a free kick to Newcastle United. Now what can they produce from this? Bottom of the table, and you're starting to play well. You do need a goal to top it all off before any disappointment can come crashing in. Wharton's behind it. He won't score a goal that way.
Yes, I thought you said in that build-up earlier when West Ham had the
This is the moment ago, the Cotty one.
Yes, I think he should have. He tried to bend it in the top corner where possibly he may have faced it across to McAvenny.
And there's number 8, McAvenny, coming in, you see.
Yeah, but I think you saw the value early on in that movement, though. Dickens played a superb little one-touch ball into Cotty.
That'll be a West Ham throw. Or Harris. Cotty. Devonshire. There's McDonald to Newcastle. Beardsley. Thomas. Good play by Orr. Ward trying to get McAvenny away, and the keeper's out again.
I certainly think it's very important to Newcastle, though, while they probably are the better side at the moment, that they cash in on it, because you've always got the impression that West Ham have probably got at least 2 gears they can go up a little bit.
Anderson now for Newcastle. Harris finding Devonshire, perhaps a little luckily. That's a better ball, though, by Devonshire for Dickens, and Ward is making a buzzing run down the right, but again, it wasn't the best of balls. But here's Mark Ward. Now Dickens trying to bring Stewart into it, but there wasn't enough on it, and it's Kenny Wharton for Newcastle. Ben Roeder. Wharton. Stevenson. Running into trouble. Ward gets it away. McAvenny's onside. Cotty's making a run towards the far post. And again, Martin Thomas is down. Roda. Cavani. Beardsley. Thomas. Goddard. Nice turn. The crowd enjoyed that. Bringing in Stevenson. Now, can he get past Ray Stewart? He can. This could be problems for West Ham. A little floater, and it's there! It's Neil MacDonald. Look at the delight at St James's Park, and the danger signs were there from West Ham from the moment that Stewart was beaten by Stevenson here. Ron Atkinson.
Yes, he's done very well here. It's probably the first time Stevenson's taken him on in a one-to-one situation. And having got there, he's put the ball in just the right place. Pulled the keeper under the ball, sucked him over. And the lad from the opposite side is getting terrific. What is interesting on that, isn't it, in the build-up earlier when Goddard let the ball run past his body to set it up, that's probably something, you know, Brian, he learnt at West Ham.
I think that was Trevor Brookings' copyright. And here come West Ham now with Ward. May have been obstruction, but the referee says no.
From a game point of view as well, Brian, I think that's given the game a hell of a lift, because I think you'll find at West Ham were very content, weren't they, to just sit on the game and push it about. Now they've got to start sprinting and playing with their customary zip.
And here it is again. Newcastle fans won't worry about seeing this again. Some great play here by Paul Stevenson, and a lovely little cross. Phil Parkes just about gets his hand to it. No, he doesn't. And MacDonald is there to finish it off. It's Ray Stewart. Alan Devonshire. McAvenny. McAvenny on again. The flag was up for an offside against Cotty. Kick to be taken by Glenn Roda. Well, I hope you're sampling this atmosphere at home, because here it's as though Newcastle have just won the FA Cup and the league combined. Look at these marvellous Newcastle fans.
Brian, these are as good a fans as there are in the country now. I remember coming here last season, end of the season, we were beating them 4-1, and their crowd were cheering as if, like you just said, as if they were winning the cup final.
Well, that's the man behind it, Willie McFall. Mark Ward for West Ham. That's the ball. I don't think Neil Orr will get to that one. Martin Thomas with no problems. Neil MacDonald, who scored for Newcastle, that's his 4th of the season. The previous 3 all came from the penalty spot. Goddard turning well again against Tony Gale. And then finding Beardsley. Thomas is waiting in the middle! Goddard again, and the combination with Beardsley, and again a delightful cross. The man is free. It's Andy Thomas, 2-0.
Brilliant link-up play, Brad. What about a word for the referee there? Play go on and everybody was wanting a free kick on Goddard.
Now a real problem for West Ham. Ward, the Stewart. Well, Newcastle's bright start has borne precisely the right fruit now. 2 goals with 34 minutes gone.
It's also very pleasing for the boy Thomas, isn't he? He looks like he's going to have a a tremendous career when he first started off at Oxford, and then he had bad injuries that set him back a bit, and this looks as if it's now giving him a lease of life coming up here.
2 last week at Stamford Bridge, and one that's really got him going here this afternoon. Well, he's got it, but he's lost it, but McDonald is there to save it for Newcastle. League games, 37 goals. Oxford, a little period on loan with Fulham and with Derby, and now, as Ron says, a new lease of life here at St James's Park for Andy Thomas. And West Ham's unbeaten away record now looking to be in real trouble.
Yes, I would think Newcastle would be very happy now if they could just keep it like this till half-time and take stock of the situation.
Seem quite happy.
Yeah, and rightly so, because what can sometimes happen in football, you don't score in your best periods. Well, fortunately for Newcastle, they've done that.
Well, here they come again. Thomas finding Beatty, and the flag stays down for Goddard against his old club, and he's missed it. Oh, what a disappointment for him. That really would have killed off the game.
Really, he looked to have done everything right as well. I mean, I would have bet money once he played it past this was going in. Looks as if he'd done everything perfect.
2-0 it remains.
The West Ham defenders are playing hell with the referee about a possible offside there, but I think the ref was right again.
Goddard with the header. Still the score for his new club. But as we've seen, he had a big part to play in both the Newcastle goals we've seen this afternoon. McAvenny versus Jackson. Jackson's header, a flick on by Thomas. Here's Stewart. McDonald now for Newcastle. Then Roda. Kenny Wharton. Wharton. Roda to Beardsley. Now for Anderson. Harris. Devonshire. Played in for Dickens. Short for McAvenny. Dickens again, sidestepping the referee. Here's Neil Orr. Mark Ward getting it towards Dickens again, but cut out by Andy Thomas. This is Paul Stevenson. Beardsley. Good play. They're really playing some stuff now. You would have to blink if you looked at the league table to think that this side at the moment, leading 2-0, are at the bottom. Stewart.
Yes, I think the biggest single factor they've got going for them at the moment, Newcastle, Brian, is the fact they've absolutely dominated midfield. Little McCreary, who always does a good little job, hasn't given Dickens much of a smell of the game. And the two wide midfield players.
Here's Beardsley. Saved, and a good save it was. They're absolutely rampant at the moment at Newcastle. It was McDonald standing off a little bit, and I think they may have felt there was going to be a pass to him, but Beardsley let fly, and Parks had to be at his best at full stretch. So it'll be Stevenson getting across there to take a corner for Newcastle. Lee McFall and Colin Suggett, his coach. Ward for West Ham. Good tackle again by Anderson. West Ham have only lost one of their last 6, and that was in the full Members' Cup in midweek against Chelsea. They're form up to now had been so good. Harris. Come for Ray Stewart. Held in towards Frank McAvenny. Here's Paul Goddard, chested down for Beardsley. And Beardsley getting it back.
Funny thing is, Brian, we're talking before the game about Peter Beardsley dropping off deep. Both him and Goddard are coming off the two central defenders quite well.
As Goddard did then.
If they stand up against them, they're both big lads, Hilton and Gale. But I think they're both finding it difficult when Beardsley and Goddard come short and have the ball into feet.
Beardsley and Goddard both only 5'8". Well, there's Goddard again, trying to get Thomas in once more, but Phil Parkes was there. Stewart, McAvenny versus Roeder. Wharton keeping it in and gets the throw. Beardsley. Pumping it away there towards McDonald. It comes to Devonshire, but there's Anderson, who's had a really good game. Goddard wanted a bit of that action, but Anderson told him to get out of the way in no uncertain terms. But then Dickens halts his progress, and here's Tony Gale now for West Ham. John Anderson. Well, that stumps Devonshire down.
I don't think I've seen West Ham for a long time get caught in possession so much or give the ball away when they've got good possession. I would think John Lyle will certainly be talking about that at half-time, plus the fact getting his midfield players up in quicker support of McAvenny and Cotty, Brian.
Dickens. Caught again, you see. Goddard taking it up. The little ball this time for Thomas, but it's Paris who takes it up now for West Ham. Cotty has drifted away to the left-hand side. He's got McAvenny waiting in the middle, but not a lot of other support, and he holds his arms out, as you could see, saying, well, come on, somebody help me. Stewart. Ward. Lovely little ball played in for Ray Stewart. Needs a good cross. Roeder behind it for Newcastle. Ward, the little touch for Hilton. Here's Orr. Newcastle still leading 2-0. Paul Hilton. Look at Beardsley coming in there to quicken things up and trying to hustle a mistake out of West Ham, but it's with Mark Ward again. Gets his cross in that was deflected, and Jackson, no nonsense, gets it away. Minutes that has flown by, which again gives you an idea of how good the game is, and particularly good for Newcastle, leading with those goals by Neil MacDonald and Andy Thomas. Bottom team upsetting the odds, leading West Ham 2-0. Roeder with the header away, helped on by Andy Thomas. Goddard flashing with Paris there. Accidental clash as they both went for that one, but it looks to me as though the referee is going to book George Paris. What did you feel about that, Ron?
Yes, I think it's more of a gesture from the referee. I can't believe that was intent.
It looks as though it's a pretty nasty injury. I think there was some blood there coming through the fingers of Paul Goddard as he went diving in there. Oh, my word.
It's actually it's caused by Paris taking his eye off the ball, wasn't it? Paris actually turned away. That's why he's caught Goddard in the head.
shades of Glenn Hoddle and Steve Hodge for England a few weeks back. A really nasty clash of heads. And in fact, both the physios are there. George Jenkins and Derek Wright. And he is really groggy and in a pretty bad way.
I'm sure I've just seen the referee signal for a stretcher there, man.
Well, the doctor's on as well to have a look.
Well, that'll be a blow if he has to come off, because that was a tremendous little link-up between Goddard and Beardsley.
But just look at the reaction of the crowd all around the ground. Great applause to Paul Goddard as he comes off after the clash of heads with George Paris. And it's right on half-time. They'll presumably wait to see just what the situation is at half-time, but he looks pretty groggy. And I would question whether Paul Goddard will be back on the field. As you say, it probably was an accident with the fact that George Paris had taken his eye off the ball on. So Newcastle for the moment 2 goals up, but down to 10 men. Ward, in goes McCreary. Stevenson. Ward. Ward to McAvenny. Half-time whistle. Full of incidents and full of good things for Newcastle United, except right at the end when Paul Goddard has gone off injured. With those goals by Neil MacDonald and Andy Thomas, giving the team at the bottom of the table a real hope of picking up 3 points here at St James's Park. 29 minutes and 32. We'll get the views in a moment of Ian St John and Mike Shannon. That's after the break.
Welcome back to what is a very exciting game here at St James's Park. Michael, the whole thing's really gone bubbling now, isn't it?
That's right. The crowd have gone mad, and let's be fair, Newcastle have played some stuff, one-touch stuff. They've knocked great balls up to the front players and set everything up. Goddard's had a great game, and they've got what they deserve. They've played tremendous.
I must say I was very disappointed with West Ham. I think they came up here, I think there was going to be a stroll, and Newcastle get on amongst them.
That's what annoys me. The likes of Alan Devonshire haven't broke sweat out there, you know. I mean, they're strolling around, and little Wardy never started for half hour. I mean, really, they just started so casual. They've disappointed me a lot.
Well, Neil MacDonald's goal, we needed a goal. We were saying, and Brian was saying in the commentary, how we needed a goal, didn't he?
Exactly. And what a great goal as well.
I thought, again, that West Ham never got support on the fullback there, Ray Stewart, and when he was beaten, there was no cover there. The ball went over to the far post, and there he was, a little header.
But that's what we want more of, isn't it? You know, I mean, that was perfect. As soon as that lad got the ball, I shouted, get at him. You know, I mean, when players do that, they get to that byline, they knock balls in the box, you're always going to get goals. And that's the second most important thing in the game, is to get to that byline. And they've scored 2 goals by doing exactly that.
Well, Peter Beardsley, for me, I thought, again, early in the game, was playing a little bit deep. But
yeah, we both said that.
Yes, but he started getting more involved up front. And in the second goal, again, right. They got Beardsley.
Great ball from Goddard again here. And he's done great. He's just took his time and a little click back. And well done the 2 midfield players. They've been getting in the box, great positions, and they've scored 2 good goals. Headers as well.
Well, that's right. I mean, the Andy Thomas lad I saw last week scoring 2 goals at Chelsea. Right. And Big Ron was saying he thought he was always going to be a good little player, you know.
That's right. But he's a very positive lad, and he likes to get in the box. He drifts in those spaces. But like I say, when Beardsley got round the edge of the box, anywhere around the box, he causes havoc. I mean, and you know, he nearly scored there as well.
We're talking about people who nearly scored. I mean, Paul Goddard almost scored, and you have to feel sorry for him because when he got clear that time, and he's only got the goalkeeper to beat.
Great build-up, Ian.
It was a good build-up, and you thought, well, here it is. He's just going to pick his spot. And it shaves the post.
And like I said, he done the right thing. The keeper spread himself. He just tried to clip it over him, and he's clipped it wide. He's unlucky. He's had a great game, Goddard. Well, I hope he gets back.
I've just heard that he won't be coming back, Mick. He's seemingly had a bad gash on his eyebrow.
Just one instance is likely to change the game. You know, if West Ham come out
I don't think you can blame Paris there, Mick, because we've all gone into clashes like that. And
Exactly.
Paris sort of turned away from the clash.
He looked after himself. Paris looked after himself. I mean, and that, we've all done that to survive as long as we have in the game, you know. And I think he just tried to get out the way. And unfortunately, Goddard was a bit too honest for his own good.
And he was
left. Yeah, he couldn't help himself.
Well, it's going to be a blow anyway for Newcastle in the second half. Paul Goddard won't be out. But we'll take a break and we'll be back in a couple of minutes. Hello again. Well, one man I'm sure enjoying this match this afternoon is England manager Bobby Robson. He's talking now to Martin Tyler.
Bobby Robson, your thoughts on the first half?
Well, Newcastle obviously now very much in the driving seat. I mean, playing inspired football, I think. Beasley's now come into it, hasn't he? He had a quiet opening period for 20 minutes. I was beginning to wonder, you know, what I'd come for, but he's now running the show in many ways. I thought the two young kids in flank position did very well for the first goal. Stevenson on the left, because he kept cool against Stewart, put in a lovely cross, and MacDonald coming in on the far post to head a wonderful goal, and that set the crowd alight.
How much of a problem is it going to be without Paul Goddard in the second half, whose link up with Beardsley was so impressive?
Well, I mean, he was forming a very nice partnership there with Beardsley, and they were both doing very well together. He'll be a miss. But fortunately for Newcastle, they seem to have the right substitute. He's a forward, I believe. I'm looking forward to seeing him. Darren Jackson. He's a front player, left-sided. So I think that he'll just cope and sit in there very nicely with Beardsley. As I said, they're in this lovely position. You know, if he looks for the ball down the gully and they defend well, I mean, I should think Newcastle now have this match well within their grasp. They would be silly to throw it away at this stage because defensively, they're doing very well too.
Tony Cottee also very much in your mind. Your verdict on his first half?
Well, he's been very well marshalled and shuttled, I think, by Jackson, who's having a very good game. But he's an elusive little character, as you know, Tony Cottee, and you've only got to forget about him for a couple of seconds, and he can steal in there and, you know, put the game sort of in West Ham's favour if they don't watch out. But generally speaking, the two centre-backs of Newcastle are doing very well against McAvenny and Cottee.
Bob, thanks very much indeed. Let's go back up to rejoin Brian Moore.
Thank you, Martin. Well, there's the man who comes on, Darren Jackson, down for £40,000 from Meadowbank Thistle in Scotland. And he was telling me just before the start that the whole of the Meadowbank Thistle side are down here to support him today, so maybe they must have known he was going to come on as a sub. He's on. Paul Goddard, as you know, injured just before half-time. We'll see if we can get an update on that before we leave you this afternoon. West Ham now coming out. Ron Atkinson, where do you feel now the battle might swing?
Well, I think tactically, I think that Willie McFall will probably just put Darren Jackson in as a straight swap for Paul Goddard. I certainly think that West Ham have got to push their game forward and get more sprint support from the middle of the park. There's not been enough things happen from Alan Devonshire, Mark Wood or young Dickens, as we said in the first half.
Well, the crowd have raised their voices again as Newcastle United get us away at the start of the second half. In the striped shirts, remember, attacking the goal to our right. West Ham's throw with George Paris. Getting some boos because of that head clash with Paul Goddard. I think a little unfair in point of fact. Free kick to West Ham. The foul by Jackson on Cottee. It's gone on a moment or two after the initial thrust. And Jackson showing that he got an injury high on the thigh. And referee Keith Hackett having a quick word with Tony Cottee. West Ham's free kick. This is Gale. Anderson. MacDonald, scorer of the first goal. John Lyle, the West Ham manager, with Mick McGibbon alongside him, one of his coaches. Donald. Orr. Harris. Rhoda back. Harris getting quite a roasting from the Newcastle fans. It'll be quite a test for him, Ron, in the second half.
Yes, a little bit unfair, but obviously they've just lost their hero, and it'll be a test of the lad's character.
Well, here's Tony Gale. Ward. Break here by Dickens, but Jackson's going across. Goal kick.
Brian, I think they've got to look for more of that. I think that's the first time in the course of the game I've seen Dickens get past his own strikers. If they're content to just sit in the middle of the park, as they did in the first half, then there's very little way I can see them getting back into the game.
Thomas then with a goal kick for Newcastle. Ball's header, won by little McCreary. Ball of fire in the middle of the field for Newcastle United. Ward, good little touch there for Dickens. Got McAvenny up ahead of him, but Rhoda's in pole position. Rhoda gets it back. And McAvenny being particularly well shackled by Glenn Rhoda this afternoon. But here's Dickens again for West Ham. Beaten by Beardsley. And now bringing Anderson into it. Beardsley's gone on the run. And Darren Jackson's on the far side. And it was Stewart forced to give away the corner, which Paul Stevenson will take. There's Darren Jackson waiting at the near post. Used to be a printer as a part-time player up in Meadowbank Thistle. Now full-time here, of course. McAvenny away for West Ham. Getting it to Ward. Only Cotty is up in a claret and blue shirt. Bit of support coming up from Gale here. And the flag was up for a foul on Ward. Free kick to West Ham. Stewart with the kick. Rhoda. And Dickens are way over the top. And they have made very few chances, West Ham, which is so unlike them.
Well, I think it's fair to say in the course of the game they've only really had the one with Cotty in the first half, haven't they? I think what has also happened, Bobby Robson made the point at half-time about the way Stevenson and MacDonald have doubled back and sort of double marked on the wide players of West Ham, Ward and Devonshire.
Hilton versus Darren Jackson. Gale to Stewart. Wharton. Stewart again. Creary. Stevenson. Beardsley. Cut out by Devonshire. Andy Thomas, scorer of the second goal for Newcastle this afternoon. Jackson. It'll fall this time for Cotty. Ward away on the right. Or feeding Cotty again. Now it comes to Ward. No, cut out by Wharton. Beardsley stopped by Hilton. Really good competitive stuff and a lot of pace to it, and Newcastle leading by 2-0. Rhoda. Stevenson. Beardsley. Misunderstanding there between Darren Jackson and Peter Beardsley. And here's Tony Gale now leading the charge for West Ham until McCreary gets in. Ward. And now Jackson. And Beardsley is onside, but Harris, with a little bit of acceleration, gets in there. Rhoda with a header again. Anderson. MacDonald. Peter Jackson. Ooh, funny old ball, that one. It's with Ken Wharton. Arnold. Jackson versus McAvenny. Again, Jackson taking no chances. West Ham's throw. McAvenny. Or Stewart. The Ward had come towards him. Beardsley. Gets the ball through. Andy Thomas is after this, and again Paris is there. Stewart keeps it in play, and it'll come back to Phil Parks.
I think that's one of the situations there when you see how well Beardsley can do when he drops off into a deep position, O'Brien. He's got a very quick brain. He spots people running through. And if you can get somebody combining with him like you have with Andy Thomas, then you've got a good little combination.
Still nothing going for West Ham. Newcastle's throw. Kenny Wharton. Stevenson. To Darren Jackson. And this should be easy for Stewart to get it back to Phil Parks. Herder versus McAvenny. The flag is up for a foul by the Scottish striker. Gale getting it back. Again, the two big central strikers, central defenders rather, there, head and shoulders above the West Ham attackers, but Dickens with a speculative shot.
Yeah, there certainly hasn't been any increase in tempo or urgency from West Ham, which is surprising, actually.
No, I was just going to say, you were feeling if West Ham could score, the game would really open up again, but there really, at the moment, is no sign of that happening.
No, I mean, if you look at Devonshire and Ward, they're more or less playing as auxiliary fullbacks at the moment.
Meanwhile, Thomas with the goal kick for Newcastle United. Beardsley, well, no right to win that header, surely, against Paul Hilton, but he did quite clearly. That'll be a West Ham throw to be taken by Mark Ward. Stewart towards McAvenny. Wharton, their longest serving player. Stewart crossing it in low this time. And here comes big Peter Jackson. To Darren Jackson, but it'll be Neil Orr for West Ham. Tony Gale. Getting it back to Stewart. Mark Ward. Now Knorr, and Knorr way over the top.
That's not his scene, is it, Neil Orr, scoring goals? He's basically the insurance man that should enable the other three midfield players to go forward.
Well, they're going to bring on Paul Ince, the young midfielder, substitute in place of Alan Dickens. It'll be the first time he's come on in a league game as Alan Dickens goes off with a slight knock, I think. He played against Chelsea, did Ince, in the full Members' Cup game, his first appearance in the midweek. And there he is, straight in the action. Wharton. Beardsley came off the hand of Orr. It'll be a free kick to Newcastle. Thomas. Wharton. And here's Devonshire. Finding McAvenny. Look who's back there, Beardsley, to dispossess him and make it safe again for Newcastle.
Example there for any budding young player, isn't it? He's made a mistake and he's rectified it himself very quickly.
And here's Beardsley again. Now Wharton, as I say, their longest serving player, made his first appearance, in fact, Kenny Wharton, the little left back in 1979 against West Ham at Upton Park. Berry, Jackson, trying to get Thomas in, and it just didn't fall Newcastle's way. And now it opens up a little bit here for Devonshire. Inside for Cotty. He's got Orr available inside him, and Orr's let it run too far. Comes to McAvenny again. Devonshire once more. And they were determined to get that away. Ball Ince now. Ince again. And a goal kick.
Talking to John Lyle before the game about this young lad. I've never seen him play before, Brian, and he was saying he's not too dissimilar to Dickens in his in his style of play. And certainly at the moment they're going to need players that can break forward and score.
Jackson, McAvenny, and Roeder gets it back. Had a really good game, Glenn Roeder. A West Ham fan, actually, from 15 years ago. He was born at Woodford, not so far from West Ham's ground. And used to stand on the terraces at Upton Park. But now he's been a real part in a Newcastle success story. Andy Thomas going in there, Darren Jackson trying to get in there. And Paul Hilton bringing it away for West Ham. Ince getting it forward, but Jackson getting it back. And now Glenn Roeder again for Newcastle. Ince once more. McAvenny. Ince played a good ball there for Cotty. In Neil Orr now playing it wide for Mark Ward. Tough little character, Ward. Not easy to dispossess, but they've done it again. Wharton finding McDonald. Now Beardsley. Paris gets the better of his man and finds McAvenny. Only Cotty really is up for him. There's a bit of support from Paris as well. Now Neil Orr coming in. And a free kick given to West Ham. The crowd not happy about that. They see a moment of danger here because West Ham might just pursue something from this free kick.
Yeah, as we said in the first half, Ward can blast them. I've also seen Gale bend them round the wall from here, you know. He's not bad at that, Brian.
I saw him in the first game of the season against Coventry when Ogrizovic had played absolutely brilliant all afternoon, and Gale won it for West Ham right at the end with a nice little dipper. Well, what can Newcastle do? What can West Ham do? Scored a couple of times this season, but this is Ward. Pushed away well by the keeper. And it didn't go out either. Now, is this caught Newcastle napping as Paris puts it in and Anderson gets it away? Well, a foul there by Ince. And it needed pushing away. Roeder with the free kick for Newcastle. Newcastle still leading 2-0 if you've just joined us. Team at the bottom of the first division putting up a really good performance. West Ham with the free kick.
Yeah, that's been the most impressive part of the performance for me, Brian, has been the composure of Newcastle. I must admit, before the game, I expected to see Newcastle just lashing it forward and chasing. Whether it's the advent of Goddard and Beardsley, two small guys up front where they've got to knock quality balls in. But they've certainly played some very, very good football.
Jackson. Roeder. Beardsley. Roeder again. Jackson telling him to put it back to Martin Thomas. McDonald just getting a touch. Darren Jackson, the substitute, on for Paul Goddard, if you just joined us, who had a nasty clash of heads with George Parrish just before half-time. Thomas going in. Now West Ham with McAvenny. Desperately needing to get back into this game. And McAvenny brought down, but no foul given. McCreary making a good, clean and a clear challenge. And again, the referee playing the advantage as Beardsley goes down. It's with Devonshire. Ward, challenged by Wharton was swift, and Newcastle get the throw.
Just thinking there, Brian, I don't ever think I see David McCreary play a bad game. He must have sprinted back 30 yards there to make a tremendous back tackle. It's one of those unsung players, isn't he, that people don't notice, and yet makes life difficult for people to play against him.
Good run again by Stevenson. This time it's out of play. Muddle there. Devonshire couldn't get it through to Cotty. Anderson's had a fine game at right back as well for Newcastle. Devonshire stopped that time by Roeder. Now Beardsley putting it wide to McDonald. Jackson. Anderson. Little ball played in again for Darren Jackson. Turned it into the path, once again, of Andy Thomas. Good move by Newcastle United.
Brilliant build-up again, Brian. Wasn't it? Great little ball in from the right full-back Anderson. Nice little turn back from the new lad, and Andy Thomas might have been on the sheet again.
This is Darren Jackson. It was a lovely little touch inside, a perfect one there for Thomas. Just had to readjust slightly, and it was enough to put it wide. Beardsley, in goes McCreary. Beardsley coming back again, inspiring everybody around him at the moment. Paul Stevenson. Ray Stewart a long way away towards Cotty, but again it's cut off by Roeder. In comes Hilton, or Devonshire. Ince, come for Devonshire again. Wide this time for Ward. Or Ince. Paris. And a free kick for the foul by Cotty on Glenn Roeder. Of the second half gone. Newcastle still leading by those two first half goals from Neil MacDonald and Andy Thomas. Beardsley, Hilton. Now Paul Stevenson, the man who made the first goal. Peter Beardsley, the man who made the second goal. And still with Beardsley, trying to tread it through. To applaud Beardsley, but I think it was probably Darren Jackson who got the touch, and it's 3-0. What a great little run here by Beardsley. Hurdling past one. And into the back of the net.
I think Brian here has done fantastic as Peter Beardsley. I think when he gets to this particular point, I thought he might have done better with his cutback. But it's just, he stabbed it home. What a good start for the kid.
So now 3-0 with Darren Jackson having made the third strike after great work by Peter Beardsley. And now you must feel there's no way back. But just look at the delight that's brought to people on the far side of the ground there. All around this place at the moment, there are people in black and white scarves singing and congratulating each other and chanting and cheering. There haven't been many days like that, if any, this season. Oh, now McAvenny in trouble with Rhoda, and the referee across very quickly to intervene, and McAvenny could be in serious trouble here. It's a bad day for West Ham, and it could become worse. But the referee has just told him to get out of the way, and it looks as though no action will be taken. The referee having a long word with Glenn Rhoda as well. But in the end, no action. Beardsley to Jackson, and a free kick given to Newcastle. With about 22 minutes still remaining. Beardsley, Stevenson, Jackson still in the middle, and another corner. Stevenson, Beardsley, Thomas. Ince bringing it away towards Mark Ward. Anderson after him. They've worked so hard and they've played so well. Bottom of the table, you must be joking. Well, if they go on like this, of course, they're not going to be tonight. A win here takes them above Manchester City and above Chelsea. (3-0) to Newcastle. Mark Ward with the corner for West Ham. Ward, and now for Orr, trying to play it in for McAvenny, for Orr again. Corner given. Beardsley got it away, but not far. It's for Ince, and he's brought down. But yes, the free kick's given. Big Peter Jackson, the 5 and the 6 there, had a tremendous game at the back for Newcastle today. There really hasn't been a weakness in that Newcastle outfit, right the way through. Now let's see. Last time it was a belt from Mark Ward. Will the variation be a curler this time from Tony Gale? Ward is behind it, Gale's behind it. It's a curler, and it's easy. Kenny Wharton. It's for Newcastle. Ince doing well. Playing a long ball forward there, and Martin Thomas for Newcastle. All action stuff now. Anderson. Beardsley with the header. Andy Thomas. Listen to this crowd. Now Ward with an assault on Wharton, just got a warning from the referee to calm it down a little bit. But here's Ward again. McCreary is in quickly. Free kick to Newcastle.
I'm absolutely astonished, Brian, about the lack of spark that's come from West Ham. I mean, they're a very good side, as good a side as there is in the country to watch normally. A side that give a lot of players a good playing pattern, and yet they're playing there as if they've got nothing at all to play for, and a win today would have taken them right into the top bracket.
And the statistician alongside me tells me that if the score stays at 3-0, Newcastle in fact leap to 18th place in the table. Well, Gale in a bit of trouble, and a mighty kick gets him out of it. Just look at the crowd on that side there. This is an astonishing afternoon for them, and they're enjoying every moment of it. Wharton. The header by Gale only reaches Peter Beardsley. Is he going to perform some more magic? This time Phil Parkes is down. Attendance 22,077, just about the average this season for Newcastle United. But on a performance like this, that's going to grow and grow in the weeks that come. George Paris still getting booed for the clash of heads that he had before half-time with Paul Goddard. Over a quarter of an hour ago. Collins leaving it for Alan Devonshire. Devonshire.
I think that's the first time Brian Devonshire's gone past anyone all afternoon, isn't it?
I think it is one. Mark Ward. Devonshire. McAvenny. Devonshire. Or Stewart, Cotty, more like a West Ham move this one. Devonshire, Stewart again, or playing it in early, but that should be a keeper's ball quite comfortably. In fact, it goes for the goal. I fancy that John Lyle, although he's been in the game long enough to know that anything can happen in the last quarter of an hour, but I think this is almost a lost cause against rampant Newcastle today. Harris gets it away. Anderson, free kick to West Ham. I think it may have been a foul on George Paris. There he is. Offside against Cotty. I must say, Ron, you're looking very well. You've had a little holiday, haven't you, in the Canary Islands?
Having an enforced break, Brian.
But glad to be back for this sort of stuff.
Very much so, yeah. I've enjoyed Newcastle's performance immensely, particularly in the manner they've done it. You know, for a team bottom of the league, it would have been easy for them to be anxious, try and kick the way out of trouble and so forth, but they stuck at it from the word go. They set the score out to play football, and they've got the benefits of it.
McAvenny. By Anderson, back again to Thomas. Are you in a position to tell us what your next move might be?
Well, I should probably get down to the Dole office this week and have a look for my gyro. No, I've got one or two things to sort out first, but just a question of wait and see.
I'm sure we will wish you well. And here's Alan Devonshire now for West Ham. It's good to have you with us today. Stewart. Frank McAvenny. Lintz trying to make the break from midfield. But Thomas's keeping has been faultless this afternoon. Beardsley stopped by McAvenny. Hilton. A little over 12 minutes remaining. Here's Roda. Beardsley. Bringing Stevenson in again. And another corner.
Every time he gets the ball, isn't he, Beardsley, you expect something magical to happen. The beautiful, quick feet. Beautiful feet.
And a great little character to go with it. A real, genuine guy. Oh, here's a good raking shot by Thomas, turned away. And McDonald trying to get it back again and punched away by Phil Parkes. I think there may have been a foul on the keeper. It'll be a free kick to West Ham. But again, a tremendous shot coming from Newcastle United. Andy Thomas. Parkes pushing it away well. Good picture of it. From Newcastle again. Stevenson. Anderson. Beardsley. Played in there towards Thomas, and West Ham get it away. It's John Anderson once more. Such a strong player, and he's had such a good game. Beardsley stopped by Ince, and now Ward. All a bit muddled in there just this last moment or so, but here's Mark Ward trying to make a bit of order out of it. Harris is away down the left. Well, he's got past McDonald. Inside for Cotty. Here's Paris again. Or toward, bringing in Ray Stewart. And McDonald gets it away for Newcastle. Darren Jackson. And now Peter Beardsley. Here he goes again. The sight Newcastle fans love to see, a little flick through, and Darren Jackson is offside. But the referee has said, let's play on, so here's George Paris. Stevenson brought down, a free kick for Newcastle. It's with Wharton. They all want to come up in the attack now. And here's Kenny Wharton looking to play the ball in. And another shot. And another goal by Thomas. 4-0. Andy Thomas is second. Newcastle United scored. Wharton having cut it back well. Space here for Andy Thomas. In off the far post to the back of the net. 4-0.
I think you've seen the value there. I mean, Andy Thomas has now scored two, hasn't he, Brian? And he's also had two very other close attempts, which is a great afternoon for an attacking midfield player.
You have to say to yourself, Ron, how on earth it is it that they are bottom of the table? They've won only one of their last 6. They've scored only 16 all season in 18 games. And now this.
Well, of course, they haven't lost the game, have they, since Paul Goddard came, so that's given them a lift. I think, to be fair, West Ham, the only way West Ham can get back into it now is if Beardsley went back in goal again.
Now they've got a free kick, West Ham. Mark Ward blasting it over. Goal kick.
Well, full credits. You can't take anything away from Newcastle today. They've been superb. But I've got to say this, how disappointed I've been in West Ham. Things we've mentioned earlier, like their lack of support play, and even their quality of play hasn't been anything like you expect from a West Ham side.
Out by Jackson.
I mean, I would think that is the part that would be particularly galling to John Lyle, is the fact that probably his side have been actually out footballed.
They've been out everything this afternoon, Ron, haven't they? Out hustled, out footballed, out shot.
Well, that's right. We have a saying in the game, don't we, that you have to earn the right to play, and certainly that's something Newcastle have done today. They've worked tremendously hard, they've closed people down, and when they've had the chance to play, they've played with little or no anxiety in their play. That's all. That's been the most impressive part.
Looking to get round Roda. It will be a West Ham throw. Well, there haven't been many more remarkable scorelines this season than this one at the moment. 4-0 to Newcastle. Willie McFall will enjoy what's left of the weekend, leaning forward there. Good too for the physio Derek Wright, who's worked so hard this week on getting players fit and has succeeded. Peter Jackson to Darren Jackson, no relation. Free kick to West Ham.
I would imagine this is his best game of the season, isn't it? Where Peter Jackson, he stepped up from the second division. He had one or two shaky moments, I understand, when he first came, but now he's really reveling in this.
Newcastle away to Charlton next weekend in another real six-pointer. Well, they're certainly a side worth going out to watch at the moment. 22,000 in St James's Park this afternoon. Roda gets it back. Five minutes left. Versus Jackson. Jackson comfortably in control.
I think that's a tribute to both Jackson and Rhodey. You've almost forgotten Cotty's playing, haven't you? It must be said, though, Brian, it's very, very hard to play up front, as McAvenny and Cotty are finding out without support, and they certainly can complain about that today. They've had little or nothing.
Here's Ward making the break for West Ham. Stewart. Aaron Jackson. I think Hilton will get there first. I've got a statistic going around the Newcastle area the last 2 or 3 days. The last live goal for Newcastle on TV was scored, believe it or not, by George Hannah back in the 1955 FA Cup final at Wembley. Well, they've had 4 beauties here against West Ham today. Well, here's George Paris. And again, little McCreary in so quickly. Ward trying to get Ince away. Jackson's across there once more. Brought down right on the edge of the box. And another Newcastle player down. Beside the referee is David McCreary. It's not often that the Newcastle crowd have been able to chant 4-0, 4-0. It's Devonshire, Hilton, Harris, Vince, Devonshire. There's Ward. Trying to get Cotty away, but again, Jackson was there. Ward shot over the top. On my watch, we're a little over 2 minutes from the end. An afternoon of triumph for Newcastle and one of great disappointment, almost embarrassment for West Ham. Here's Cotty. Well, the keeper again does well. He's had 4 clean sheets all season, Newcastle, but they look like getting another today. McAvenny. Ward just chipping out of trouble. Cotty. Stewart. Behind for the goal kick.
I think in the last 10 minutes or so, Ward has pushed right up as an orthodox winger. He's probably had more contributions at making things happen around the Newcastle box than he's had, or than anybody's had in the course of the whole game. Makes you wonder what would have happened if he'd moved up a little bit earlier, Brian.
A quick sum up, Ron, before we come to the last moments of the game. You would surely see Newcastle now, on the basis of this, using this as a platform of getting away from trouble.
Yes, particularly if Goddard's not out for a long time. They can grow from that. They've put a run together for 3 or 4 games now without defeat. And the manner in which they're doing it, sometimes you have to stick to your beliefs, and I hope Newcastle continue to play in this sort of style. It's good for them.
Law losing it out to Andy Thomas. He's looking for a hat-trick, but he won't get it there. Law for West Ham. We're inside the last minute. Ward for West Ham. For Paris. In for Cotty. Devonshire. To Mark Ward. And a deflection, but again, Martin Thomas alive to it. Shouts of celebration all around St James's Park. Just looking for the referee now to blow that final whistle. Andy Thomas. Maybe they're wanting to delay it just a moment to see what happens here. Kenny Wharton played such a big part in that last goal. Hilton gets it away. McAvenny with a neat turn. Cotty doing some running again, but it'll again come through to the keeper. Rhoda. Thomas. And here come Newcastle again with Paul Stevenson. Beardsley. Rhoda right up there. Beardsley again. They'd love to see him winkle his way through that defence and do something spectacular, but it's too late. A great afternoon for Newcastle. They're off the bottom of the First Division table. 4-0 victors to the delight of this 22,000 crowd. 2 goals by Thomas, 1 by McDonald, and 1 by Darren Jackson. 4-0 the final score. We're going to get another verdict in a moment from Ian St John and from Mike Shannon. 4-0 to Newcastle.